Despite the news that Lucasfilm Games has finally brought to an end EA's exclusive deal to make Star Wars video games, the publisher isn't done with a galaxy far, far away by any stretch of the imagination. Both the publisher and Lucasfilm Games have already confirmed that they'll continue to make Star Wars titles, and Respawn Entertainment are already widely rumored to be hard at work on a sequel to 2019's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And that should come as quite a relief to Star Wars fans. For all that EA didn't fully maximize the potential of the license, Fallen Order was a major breath of fresh air when it released, giving players the story-driven single-player title they'd been waiting years for. 9 years for, to be exact. Jesus. But whatever, it was fantastic, featuring a killer story told from the perspective of a Padawan survivor of the Jedi Purge, some phenomenal performances, and a solid mix of challenging lightsaber combat and Tomb Raider-style exploration. But where do Respawn take the series next? I'm Ewan, you're watching What Culture Star Wars, and here is the perfect setting for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. Oh, and major spoilers ahead for the first game, that should be kind of obvious. So, first things first, there are some restrictions to the kind of story Respawn can tell with Cal Kestis and the crew of the Stinger Mantis, as they really need to duck out of the picture before the events of Star Wars Rebels, and especially prior to Rogue One and A New Hope, because Luke Skywalker's whole deal is that he's kind of the rebellion's only hope as the final surviving Jedi. That doesn't mean that Cal is marked for death or anything like that though. If anything, it may actually give Respawn more freedom to try something different with the character, and tell their own story away from the main events of the Skywalker saga, and in a way that builds upon the first entry, as well as other ongoing Star Wars series. Yes, if you didn't know, Lucasfilm have finally kicked off the High Republic event this January, and it presents a perfect opportunity for Fallen Order 2. The first game's main thrust was of course about the list of Force-sensitive younglings that were hidden across the galaxy, but at its core was also the exploration of the Zepho, an ancient Force-sensitive species who existed thousands of years before the Jedi. Those Uncharted/Tomb Raider-esque elements were part of what made the original Fallen Order so enjoyable, and it makes perfect sense to spotlight them further in the sequel, to make this kind of game almost Star Wars' version of Indiana Jones. Yes, I know Star Wars already has its version of Indiana Jones and Dr. Aphra, but bear with, this makes perfect sense. But what is the High Republic? Well, it's a relatively new era, first revealed by Lucasfilm early in 2020. It's set just a century before the events of The Phantom Menace and features the Jedi in their prime, where they were truly the guardians of peace and justice throughout the galaxy and not on the way to their demise. The first two books, Light of the Jedi and A Test of Courage, as well as the first Marvel Comics series, have all released to strong reviews, so far so good. The setting had been touched upon before those releases though, specifically in Charles Soule's Rise of Kylo Ren comic and the current volume of the main Star Wars comic set in between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Both series showcase Luke Skywalker exploring High Republic ruins, but given Cal Kestis' experience exploring ancient Zepho ruins, who's to say he couldn't follow in Luke's footsteps, or to be more accurately, lay the groundwork for them? Now, there are a few problems to navigate with this idea, mainly the fact that the Jedi of the High Republic didn't venture past the Outer Rim territories all that much, which would keep the Stinger Mantis closer to the core systems, and by extension the Empire, but exploring older Force cultures and the Jedi of yore seems like the logical next step for a Fallen Order sequel to take. Better yet, there could be an opportunity for Respawn to deploy Force visions and flashbacks. Maybe Cal follows the journey of a Jedi from the High Republic in a bid to stop the Inquisitors, Crimson Dawn, which would mean more Maul, or some other threat, from finding a pivotal Jedi artifact, and the two stories are relayed in tandem. And if you want to go one step further, there could also be potential for more lightsaber customization, and maybe even Jedi robes, like those depicted in the event thus far. Yes, it wouldn't really make sense if Cal's trying to stay incognito, but I think everyone can agree that the first game lacked some killer outfits, and the ponchos themselves, while cool, kind of got boring after a while. Either way, it won't be long until the High Republic makes the leap to the gaming medium. It was rumored before its official announcement that a High Republic title was in the works, and what better way to introduce more mainstream fans to that setting than via a game set within the familiar confines of the original trilogy, or at least the gap in between episodes 3 and 4. Regardless of whatever form Fallen Order 2 does take, I will obviously play it, but in charting Star Wars' gaming future, Respawn could do well to explore its burgeoning past. And those were just some thoughts about where Jedi Fallen Order 2 could venture next. Where do you think the series should head? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to What Culture Star Wars. I've been Ewan, and may the Force be with you. Bye!